Okay, welcome to the Jowls of Justice with Droopy McGobbler. My name is Droopy McGobbler, and I'm the producer of the show. The things you will hear over the next 2 hours, really, represent the views of the Jowls of Justice and the people making them. All opinions and quotations in no way represent River West Radio and are the sole responsibility of the producer, guests, and callers. River West Radio is not liable for any legal issues arising from the content of this program. Okay, now that I've said that, welcome to the Jowls of Justice with Droopy McGobbler. Today, the last couple weeks I haven't done so well. I hope I didn't lose too many listeners because I was so busy with a class I didn't really like in school. And, I just didn't. I was tired all the time, whatever. But if you don't like it, you can tune out. And also, right, I got a little messed up because I figured I was talking about school too much, whatever. Then I realized, wait a second, this isn't a comedy show. Right now, I'm making it something other than what's in the blurb that I wrote that is awesome. So, this isn't a comedy show. It's a show about whatever's in my head. And you know what's on my mind right now? It's school. It is hard work. Alright, and that sucks because I hate hard work and I have no work ethic. I really want everything to just be handed to me so I can be lazy. But at any rate, the point is that interestingly enough, there we go. Interestingly enough, I have had issues with understanding the assignments themselves, actually writing different things than were asked for sometimes. And okay, whatever, that's something to work on academically, whatever. But it became ridiculous, as things always do for me. And the point when it became ridiculous is when the assignment was to write a proposal that will convince the professor, blah, 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 right, that this is a worthy research topic for the other blah, 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 right, towards this research report. I thought it meant write a proposal of one of the kinds in the book to somebody, right, to a chosen audience based on the blah, 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 blah. And my idea that I'm proposing is a baby carriage sort of thing that incorporates technology developed for prosthetic limbs as well as the basic giant spider robot design. And he actually loved this topic. Everybody discussed them beforehand. Right, so this was only a writing assignment. And so, because I thought it was a little different, I wrote it to develop this thing for DARPA for $1 million grant. Then it said proposal presentations on the syllabus. And then it became truly ridiculous because I thought that meant that we were, and discuss proposals. I thought that meant we were presenting our things to the whole class. And since I always do better with speaking and whatever when I'm dressed up, in front of people, that sort of thing, this is when it became truly ridiculous. I had my PowerPoints and graphics and videos, all this kind of stuff about this technology, and I showed up dressed to give $1 million presentation to the Department of Defense with this big fat thing. And at the smoke break, then I asked him, this question, are we going to be presenting these or what? And he was like, "What are you talking about?" He said, "What are you talking about?" Not in so many words, but he did. And so I explained to him what I thought it was, and he meant that it was a proposal to him proposing that we research this topic. The presentation was his presentation on proposals, that we would discuss then generalized proposals in general in class. And I wasn't pissed because I almost tossed it out. I almost did a stupid thing and restarted it. Then I realized that not only could I reuse so much of it, I could actually, I basically had done half of the work for the semester all at once. So that's nice, because I've got stuff to do every day. Blackboard, I hate Blackboard. And the reason I hate Blackboard is because then I can have stuff due at stupid times, right, at random times, at midnight on a Saturday, literally, right, at midnight, on days when we don't have class, days when I have then I have 2 classes, Tuesday, Thursday, so I have, sometimes double stuff due that day, and double stuff Oreos are great, but double stuff homework is not. Now, on the topic of Oreos, everybody likes to take a butter knife and scrape it off and make quadruple stuff and all that sort of stuff, pun intended, Oreos. And that's cheating. I like to do that, but it only counts if you can get the thing either in one whole piece, which is, a full point, or in certain, in big enough fractions so that you can move it off of the thing and off of the Oreo and onto the snack. Then you get somebody else to eat the cookies, and I build 16 stuff, 24 stuff, these 6-inch high Oreos. All right, I build them, well, maybe not 6 inches, but I build them as wide as I can open my mouth, and sometimes more. Right, 11 double stuffs or whatever. I take pictures of this kind of stuff. So that's pretty cool. Oreo cookies. But I found out that, not Oreo cookies, that when you eat a whole box of cookies, you can throw up. And that sucks. All right, nobody likes to throw up. It's kind of gross, all right, to be talking about it, but there isn't too much body stuff I can talk about on the air. All right. And I find that stuff extremely humorous. Boogers, all right, boogers I can at least do. Barf, all right, poop, pee, which word can't I say, and how do I say it? Poopy, buttocks. Oh yeah, buttocks, definitely. And, flatulence. That's the one. I can't say the colloquial term for flatulence. But anyhow, all flatulence aside, so I didn't realize until I was about a block from the station that I still had my binoculars on. And I am wearing, currently, a Ralph Lauren yellow and blue checked shirt, and cargo shorts and whatever, and a straw stingy brimmed fedora with a feather in it. So I had these binoculars around my neck, and I looked like I was dressed up to go bird watching, like I was wearing some kind of outfit. And the funny part is that, a friend of mine even stopped by to pick up something, and I said, a hard drive, by the way, is what it was, a computer hard drive. At any rate, my friend said, well, what the heck was I oh, you look like, what's with that? You look like you're dressed up to go bird watching. Were you, oh no, she said, were you bird watching or some weird thing? And I said, yes, I was. All right, I was bird watching because I sit in my backyard frequently. I have this plastic chair that was sort of already there. Oh yeah, and I forgot the back phone is ringing, but I forgot to say, everybody should call in at 935-2951, and that's 414-935-2951. At any rate, though, so I forgot I had these binoculars on, and I actually was bird watching. I sit and do my homework, right? A lot of my reading, and because I have to read quite a bit, but that's fine because I read fast, and so I do that, right? A lot of homework because we have these big shade trees in the backyard, so I sit under that. Even when the air temperature was 100 degrees the other day, it was nice in the shade in the spot in my like study spot, and it works really well. Also because there's no distractions. There's nobody else around. Right? I don't have any of my other computer screens up. You know, there's nothing around that I could distract myself with. All right. Then I got these binoculars. There was this guy outside this bar, and he was like, "Hey, man, give me $15 for this pair of binoculars." And he had this stuff. This pair of binoculars, a super bright LED flashlight, pretty good flashlight, and this box of fishing tackle. All right. And so, of course, I gave him $15 for all that stuff. Right? I got a couple pairs of antique binoculars. They're awesome. I mean, these aren't some awesome priceless antique, but they're pretty awesome because they're binoculars. And probably from the 50s or something, at least 50s, probably not even 60s, judging by the markings on it. 7 power, 35 millimeter, blah, 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 blah. At any rate, so yeah, that and the flashlight is actually bright. Unfortunately, the fishing tackle is not really stuff I need. I mean, obviously I need everything, hooks, sinkers, whatever. But there's a ton of just, it felt heavy. There's a ton of just extraneous crap, such as a whole bunch of these big lead pyramid sinkers, right? Look like, upside down pyramids, and they're like anchors, right? They're huge, 1 ounce, right, or the smallest, 2 ounce, 3 ounce. I think there was some ice fishing involved because there's some bells, right, and that goes with ice fishing, doesn't it? At any rate, though, so I got this stuff, and that's awesome, but then I brought the binoculars, right, because those are, like I said, I've already got like 2 pairs of them, probably. I brought binoculars to my spot in the backyard, and I was doing some homework, and I wanted to distract myself. I really wanted to distract myself. And so I started bird watching, right? We actually have a male cardinal that lives around here, as well as a pretty large robin, right? Very large robin. And the, whatchamacallit, what was I saying? Oh yeah, did you know, and I bet you probably didn't, that the cardinal in the church, right? I always thought the cardinal in the church was named after the bird because they wear all red, right, and look somewhat like the bird. It turns out that it's the other way around, which I guess makes sense because cardinals, I think, are a New World bird, and they call it the cardinal because it looks like a Catholic cardinal because it's red. All right, completely the other way around, and I just find that to be very interesting. So instead of doing my homework, I might have my computer screen open, but instead of doing my homework, I've got my binoculars out and I'm watching birds, even if they're interesting birds. I mean, that's pretty, there's nothing wrong with bird watching, but that's a pretty far to go to distract myself. I'm going to start bird watching. Okay, so I'm going on smoke break. And because I'm a little antsy and stuff today, a little, I don't know, maybe I'm caffeined up. But at any rate, the point is that I'm going on smoke break and I don't have anything recorded. Somebody said that I should the other day, and I guess for whatever reason, oh no, that's why I didn't, because it wasn't the other day, it was today. Right? It was the guy before me on Breaking Down the News. Right? It's so sad that the American Patriot left. I really liked him. It's pretty good on the show. And I gotta get him to come on mine, really, is what I gotta do. Because here's why. I like to get extreme, right? I do. You know, extreme cheddar, right? Extreme Mountain Dew, extreme this, that, everything except actual extreme sports. And sometimes, right, things become ridiculous of their own accord with me, such as the $1 million proposal. But, which, like I said, is fine, because that means I did extra work. But, you know, everything, you know, I can be kind of radical with my political stuff. And, all right, the first time I met this guy, we started talking about politics. Within 15 minutes, he had FEMA herding us into concentration camps, right, and with some secret plan and underground this or that, right, and I was launching nuclear missiles against Iran and Iraq and Afghanistan and the whole deal. 15 minutes it took to get to that point. So then I was like, this is a pretty smart guy. But hey, I'm going on smoke break. Kids, don't smoke.
You don't need to
Okay, I'm back to jowling. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the sound of River West noise. I guess I should have predicted this, because my friend, the one who said that I looked like I was bird watching, and I was, she's a hipster, right? And she gave me this hat that, it's a straw, narrow-brimmed fedora with this striped hat band. And I guess I should have known this because she's a hipster. And I'm not saying anything bad about you if you're listening, which you should be. But I'm just saying that I was outside and I passed by Fuel, and there was this other hipster on the phone, right, dressed like an obvious hipster with the, with this darn near the same hat on. And she was wearing one today too, real similar. So now I'm running around looking like a hipster. But you know what? I live in River West. The place has started to grow on me. And, everybody who's listening to me is probably a hipster right now. But that's fine because you were doing it before it was cool. Oh, wait, Droopy's already cool. In fact, you couldn't have been cool, all right, hipsters, because I was cool when I started, right? Only I was cool before I was cool, right? So, sorry about that, guys. But anyhow, right, yeah, so I guess that kind of makes me a partial hipster. I gotta admit, Henry. But, I'm on River West Radio out of River West Film and Video. I'm next to Fuel Cafe. Somebody call in. Somebody give me a call at 414-935-2951. That's 935-2951. Let's see, who can I call randomly that won't curse here? Let me go through this here. Ah, there we go. 40.
Oh, Jacob!
Okay, I'm calling someone now, and he's not going to know I'm on the radio till I tell him.
Hello?
Hey, you're on the radio.
Excellent.
What's up? You're on the Jowls of Justice with Droopy McGobbler. What's going on?
How can I help you?
Oh, just calling to see what's up. Getting a little bored, which means I'm getting a little
Port
boring.
Washington.
You're in Port Washington?
Yes.
Huh,
Great city of Port Washington.
Do you live there now?
No.
That place sucks. Hey, I'm going to text you someplace to look at there, huh? How long are you going to be there for?
All right. Well, I'm just going to work at a casino party right now.
Oh, okay. Can you talk? Are you driving, or?
Yeah, I'm about to get there right now, so.
Oh, okay. In that case, you better haul butt. But I just want to say I found out disappointingly that I can't get my license back till October 16th of 2013.
All right.
That sucks, doesn't it?
Sure does.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
With you there.
Okay. Well, if you got to go, in that case, I will talk to you later, huh?
All right. Thank you for calling.
Peace out. I'll text you something. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, who knows? I don't know if this is working. But hey, okay, cool. Let me figure out who else to call. Blah, 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 blah. Do. This guy's a hipster. He might be able to help. Alright, let's try this guy. Yeah, so if you know me, if you know Droopy, you are likely to get called on the phone. It's quite possible. I mean, you know, you never know. Calling a guy right now, hopefully he answers. Let's see. Could call some other place and bust their chops. Ooh, dirty
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice.
Oh, well, alright, let me try another one. Gosh darn it. Okay, let's try this. Hello? Hey, Dirty Charlie, are you on? Apparently not. Okay, no Dirty Charlie. Charlie, if you're listening, sorry for calling you Dirty Charlie. But you know what? You're actually pretty dirty. I lived with you for a little while. That's okay, though. Let's see here. Yeah. Ooh, yeah, I'll bust this guy's chops. Okay. Let's see if this one answers. This will be interesting, I hope. Not bullfrog. While we're waiting here, while I'm trying to find someone, let me explain about the bullfrog. Okay, I started to get into the bullfrog last time, I believe. But the thing with it is that if you listen, right, if you don't have one, right, if you're doing jowls and you don't have them, you can do it. I have never obstructed justice, right? If you don't have a gobbler, you can do it too. I thought you,
The wireless customer.
That stinks. At any rate, so, you know, I don't have a gobbler physically, but I can go like this. Wait, let me do it without my headphones on. See, did you hear that? There's some gobbling. All right, get some gobble action on. But, all right, so I can jowl and gobble. But, actually, because I don't have a bullfrog, I can't inflate that bullfrog. I can't rib it for or against stuff. All right. So if somebody's listening who has a bullfrog, please call me up and let me know, all right, how you do that. It's 414-935-2951. All right. So, yeah, I got maybe soon I'll figure out how to inflate a bullfrog. I mean, the problem is I don't know if these guys can actually inflate their necks, and I won't know until I grow my own bullfrog. right? But, oh, I'm going to have one, believe you me. Right, I've got academic jowls hung on me. Right, I'm about to earn my gobbler. Right, I'm pretty serious. You know, I read nonfiction now. So I'm gonna get a bullfrog. I'm gonna get something bigger than a gobbler. It's gonna grow. But until then, right, I don't know if I'll be able to actually inflate my neck. And so the question, I guess, is you know, what does it sound like? Maybe they can't actually rib it. Maybe you can't rib it, right, if you have a bullfrog. But there's got to be some noise, right? Just like in the case of the commercial for FedEx, I believe, with FedEx Ground, right, and Harry and Bob and Joy and who's the other one? Eileen, right? And this one guy with double chin, about 6 inches thick, and a gobbler that's a spare tire rounder than bigger than his head, right? He says, "We can all agree that FedEx Ground is fast." And the office manager, whoever, says, "Well said, Mr. Turkey Neck." So I don't know. Maybe there's a bullfrog noise. There could certainly be a bullfrog noise that gets made. But let's see. Who else can I put on the radio here? Let me go to this and that, and yeah, menu, function, option. Okay, here. Ooh, how about this guy? I just heard somebody fall. Okay, how about this guy? Okay, this guy that I'm calling, right, he has a bullfrog. He has a big bullfrog, so he'll be able to let me know sort of what it feels like to have a bullfrog, right, what noise he can make with it, right, all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I mean, maybe I should call it. Maybe I should ask the offices of Chief Judge Belvin Perry Jr.
Hi, you have reached the voicemail box of Josiah right now.
Yeah, I had to bleep out his name or whatever by jowling. Okay, let's see, who else? It's him. Oh, good, I could put him on. Darn. Ah, there we go. Okay. Okay, let's try this guy. He'll be happy to be on. Man, after here you see this guy doesn't want to be on the radio. And actually, all right, I respect that, because he says that he can't go on the radio because, honestly, he can't not swear. There's certain words that he said that he is unable to refrain from saying.
Hi, you've reached John.
And that's
Please
fair.
leave a message after the tone.
Darn it. Okay. You know what? It's another 20 minutes, so I'm going to take another smoke break. Kids, don't smoke. I'll share with you an Ultimate Warrior public service announcement that he made back in the day when wrestling was awesome. Hulk Hogan in the beginning, The Undertaker in the beginning, Jake the Snake, the Crusher, the Bruiser, Sergeant Slaughter, right? There was like 5 wrestling matches in an hour show. Now there's a bunch of crap talking, girls in bikinis, all that kind of baloney, and in fact, right, there's like 2 matches in a show. Okay, fine, it's not real wrestling, it's not Olympic wrestling, but it's sports entertainment. It's supposed to be entertaining. I mean, they can at least have World Wrestling matches on World Wrestling. You know, it's not even that I'm going to describe it as a soap opera for men, because that's trite, right? I'm just going to say that it's stupid. It's become stupid, and it used to be cool, right? But I'm going to go smoke another cigarette.
The enemy on the guys is so freaking cool. They so freaking small.
Oh, wow. Sorry, guys. That was a lot longer than I expected. Well, at any rate, I hope you like listening to River West traffic noise. Which I see a lot of policemen around. So I don't know, or at least a lot of police cars. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's just because of the fire, right? The terrible fire in River West, a few blocks west of here. Joe's Auto something, I think, was the building. But at any rate, though, 5-alarm fire. And because, I figure because of that, they're either looking for someone or something, right? Or they're just patrolling, or they think it's arson and they're patrolling more. I really don't know, right? But every time something happens, like a burglary, robbery, whatever, you always see more policemen, right? So it leads me to believe that somewhere there was a crime committed in this area. But I don't know till they release it publicly. So I wish I was the kind of reporter, right, who had sources and all that kind of stuff. And then I'd have, Jowls of First Amendment Jowls, right, which was phrased very well in one of the first few episodes of Lois and Clark, right, when Terry Hatcher was really, really hot. And she said, he said, as Superman, Dean Cain as Superman, said, was holding up this reporter by his lapels, and the reporter goes, "Haven't you ever heard of the First Amendment?" And Superman says, because he's Superman, of course, "Yes, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or something, the freedom thereof," right? And the guy says, yeah, skip to the part where it says I can do anything I want because I'm a reporter, right? And I don't know, that obviously that's not true, but that would be cool to be that sort of media guy. But I don't know if that would even fit on a community radio. That's fine, right? Because I'm doing this right now, I'll be on Fox in 2 years, right? I'll have them give me makeup, and I would, for this, I would let somebody put makeup on me, right? Which would be a very big deal to, and in this case, for the purpose of giving me, right, the look of respectable, right, physical jowls until I grow my own. I mean, look at Mark Shields. Could you really disagree with anything he says? I mean, I couldn't resist. I don't watch him because I couldn't resist those. And I don't know much about these guys, but I'm going to vote. I vote for senators and representatives based on jowls sometimes. And I will announce right now, I am going to vote for whichever candidate has bigger jowls, or more authoritative jowls. I'm seriously going to vote that way because it doesn't matter. All right, it doesn't. It's like that Futurama episode, copyright Comedy Central, blah 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 blah, where whatchamacallit, which one is it? No, I wasn't talking about reporters or the media. Blah, 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 blah. I don't know. At any rate, so back when wrestling was cool like that, the Ultimate Warrior, right, it was just awesome. He would grab stuff and just grab the ring ropes and go, shaking them up and down. That was his way of grandstanding. He didn't stand on the corners like some of the others. And he just was nuts. He was yelling. He would do, during his trash talking time, right? He'd start out all right, but then a couple times he was yelling about aliens. I don't know. I don't remember if I mentioned this last week or before, that I've been warned. I don't believe this, right? But and I think I can prevent this. I mean, but I've been warned that doing too much, what am I trying to say? Public, all right, and fake alien shouting could, if I do it enough, turn me in. There's a possibility that it could turn me into a real alien shouter if I accidentally start listening to it. In my efforts to be authentic, in my efforts to be authentic in my representation of an alien shouter, right? What do they call it? Becoming the mask, right? I don't want to become the mask because sometimes the mask can be a cool dude, right? But if the mask is an alien shouter, that's not, I wouldn't like to not be able to turn that off, right? Alien shouters don't do too well in the world, no matter how smart they are. But at any rate, so the Ultimate Warrior would shout about aliens. He would alien shout while making weird gestures with his eyes bugged out. Okay, and he didn't swear. Sometimes he was completely unintelligible, and he didn't he didn't explain it. He didn't say, "Oh, this is," he'd say something in an absolutely ridiculous way, and then he would, something that made no sense, and sometimes the interviewer would say, what did you say? I can't understand that. And he'd say something equally ridiculous, and it's not like he'd say, oh yes, that was an animal language, because he wore this awesome face paint. That was an animal language, of my ancestors, or whatever that I attained through meditation, something. Right, the spirit of whatever. No, he didn't offer any explanation that nobody ever asked. He would just rave in strange languages. Okay, and so he did a PSA, right, an anti-smoking PSA, public service announcement, and it starts playing his theme. Okay, it starts playing his theme, and he rips open a pack of cigarettes, stuffs all the cigarettes into his mouth, okay, butt ends out, filters out, and starts chewing them up. And I'm not talking about over time, I'm talking about like the second he goes, the Ultimate Warrior has a lot of bad habits, but smoking isn't one of them. Something about things that help me survive, right? Don't deprive yourself of the full power. Be a survivor. Dude, smoke. Right. I wasn't allowed to watch World Wrestling. I caught it when I could catch it. Okay. But, we fought too much. My brother and I fought too much when we were small. So that wasn't a general thing that we could, or I don't remember if it was or not. But at any rate, doing stuff we saw on television, now that's okay to do. Now, as much as they warn against it, okay, and I jowl on this, the people just think it's, and this amazes me, because not only are there, okay, fine, warnings are things to ignore, okay, jackasses who watch Jackass are of course going to try to replicate that crap, right? And by the same token, the sort of, if rednecks, for instance, if rednecks watch World Wrestling, especially fat ones, right, there is, and especially ones who live on a farm, okay, or have a big backyard or whatever sort, do this backyard wrestling, where they're actually jumping off of ladders, regular construction ladders from the garage or whatever, or jumping off the garage onto a plain old table, like the sort you see in, school auditoriums or whatever, that fiberboard stuff, all right, but not a breakaway table, just a regular table, and they jump through this stuff, all right. And there's not only the whatchamacallit, there's not only the jowling against it by the professionals. Okay, there's also, right, jowling, by the actual wrestlers themselves, not just the organization, in their books, interviews, and so on and so forth, explaining how much you can get hurt doing this stuff. Okay, and that just, I would read a book like that and not, maybe these guys don't read books. I read books. And I should probably explain that before. Or, yeah, soon. At any rate, I'm going to take a break, a 5-minute break, even though I just smoked 15 minutes ago because I'm not a survivor and I have bad habits, and smoking is one of them, and so on and so forth. Maybe I should try eating a pack of cigarettes and it'll keep me from smoking, like the guy whose legal name is Warrior. No first and last, none of that business. Warrior. And it's often rendered Warrior, in quotation marks, the ultimate warrior, Warrior. And his wife is Mrs. Warrior. His kids are, and that's, I guess, a fine last name. But just being named Warrior, especially Warrior, the ultimate warrior, and that's a little excessive. I'm sure it's some sort of a trademark thing, but he seems like the sort who might actually do that, because I believe that 30 years later, he still called somebody out and was alien shouting. So, alien shouting the activity, okay, whether it's intentional or whether it's uncontrollable. The alien shouting, people, shoot, I forget what I was going to say. Oh, but alien shouting can apply to things other than aliens, to yelling about, I don't know, government conspiracies, or just nonsense, plain old nonsense, or whatever. At least when I do it, and this is probably, I don't know, I bet you people are actually listening when I go on about illegal space aliens. I know I actually did the routine on here for a few minutes when I couldn't think of anything to do or say. So, at any rate, all right, the Jowls of Justice, okay, will actually continue to droop in about 2 minutes. All right, I'm going to have to take another break because that's what I got to do for the station. So I'll do it in 2 segments. I'll do the introduction, and then if I remember what I was just talking about, right, and I continue to remember it till I get back to my seat and read the disclaimer, then I'll start talking about it again. Otherwise, whatever. And if you don't like it, you can tune out. All right, I don't want you listening to my gold anyway. But if you do like it, or actually if you don't like it, right, but you can't listen to it. If you don't like it, you're not allowed to listen to it, but you can still call in, right, even if you don't like me, right, because I'm barred from swearing. So, and I'm on media, so I have to act right. Ooh, I'm gonna jowl against reality television. Ooh, yeah, I'm gonna droop low. But anyway, 414-935-2951 is the number. I'm going to separate this cast into 2 pieces. And, yeah. So, until next time. These jowls are for you.